Welcome to St. Peters Cradley, and we're going to take you on a virtual tour of the church today. A church that was built in 1789 and finished in 1791. Object of significance that you come to is the font. You had Samuel baptised here, didn't you?
We did. That was 3 years ago. It's gone very quickly.
And why did you have Samuel baptised?
To show that we believe in Jesus and we want to bring him up in the faith.
Wonderful. Wonderful occasion, wasn't it? I remember that really well. So we come to our bloomer altar at the side chapel here at St. Peters for private prayer, where people can just come and be quiet. And often when we have prayers for healing on a Sunday, this is the spot that we do it after our communion. Come now to the lectern, the big brass eagle. And lecterns were often eagles, sometimes pelicans. We have an eagle because an eagle flies so high in the sky and has this piercing eyesight that can see prey far away on the ground. And it's as though the word of God, as people hear it read, pierces inside them. You know, God can see like an eagle sees, and so that's why we have a brass lectern here.
So this is the 1933 Compton pipe organ that we've recently restored, and these are some of the sounds that we can make on it. So this is the clock we saved from St Luke's at Cradley Heath, and our aim is to put this on our tower in full working order. And if people want to find out more about the project and donate to the cause, visit our website.
These are our stained glass windows, which are very simple. They simply tell the story of Jesus, starting with Abraham through to all that Isaiah had to say, until we come to the Good Shepherd himself. We come here to our high altar, which we use on high days and holidays, and it's lovely when it has the crib in it, and I know that the children love to come and have a look at that. So the nave table here is borrowed from the children's chapel to the side, and this is where we have our ordinary Sunday communions, much like Jesus did close to his disciples. This is the pulpit that was with the original church. But in the original church, it was on the other side, by the Bloomer Chapel. We seldom use this these days, but when the church is full and the galleries are full, the best acoustic is from here.
So we'll make our way now to the children's corner, which is where the children have their stories and can have their own service here on a Sunday.
We have these Stations of the Cross here, James, and these were made by a local artist from Romsley, Jean Cockin, and she made them very simply in clay so that they tell the story of Jesus' passion. So from the Garden of Gethsemane on this side to the arrest of Jesus on that side, and two on every pillar right around the church, you can make the journey of Jesus' passion.
Walking down here now, we come to our tea and coffee area. Very important part of the church for events and services, where people can get to know each other and have a bit of refreshments as well. And always very popular at our concerts with our homemade cakes.
Can you believe that all those wonderful refreshments come out of this cubbyhole of a kitchen here? We're going to go up into the gallery now, and this is a feature of a lot of the nonconformist churches that were built locally, to have a gallery to make sure that they could cram as many people as possible in. The gallery is full when the schools are in and often used during remembrance, but wedding photographers get some fantastic photos of vows being made and so on from up here. You can also see the pillars look like they are wooden, but they contain something of the metalwork history of our region, in that there are big metal pillars that go right down into the ground. There are no foundations to this church, it's just built straight on the earth, and these metal pillars clad here are what keep the gallery and the church up and together.
Right, so you join us now in the workings of the 1933 Compton pipe organ here at St Peters. We've come up here, the pipes are upstairs above the choir vestry, and the first thing we're going to look at is inside this box here. Inside this box is the blower that we saved from St Luke's at Cradley Heath when that closed down, and this is a big fan that provides all the wind to power the organ. So there's a big fan in there, and it goes through the tube and then into next door into the organ pipes, which we'll have a look at in a moment. On the wall here, these banks of cupboards here, we've got three. We've got one for the pedal, one for the bottom keyboard and one for the top keyboard. And if you take a look in there, these are relays, and there's a relay for each note on the keyboard or the pedal board there, and each bar across here is a different stop on the organ. So if I was to press a stop to turn it on, these would drop down, and by pressing the keys, these brown things would go up and down and make the electrical contacts to open up the valve to sound the pipe. And if you look on there, we've got the number of the organ, which is number A188, and it was installed here on the 29th of May in 1933 by Mr Pocock and Mr Jermy. There we are. So we've turned the organ on. You can hear the electric motor powering the fan in the box here, and we'll just show you how they used to tune these organs up. So if there was only one person come from the factory to tune the organ back in the day, they would come in here and they would get these clips, and for every note there is a metal contact here, and each row represents a different set of pipes. So we've got 6 sets of pipes on here. So if he wanted to tune, he would put the peg on there, and you can hear that sounds the note, and he would then find the same pipe 8 notes down and tune against that one. And I'm probably not going to get it right, but we'll have a go. There you go, and he tuned those pipes against each other. So if I take that off there, we can do a scale all the way down. And the loud one. There we go. So here we are in the pipe chambers of the organ. There's only one chamber, and it's where all the pipes are kept. And you can see lots of big pipes on the floor. That supplies the air to the pipes themselves. These are the biggest ones. These are the pedal pipes here, and the mechanism for making the sound that you hear is in that box, and it's the same sort of mechanism. It's called a diaphone, and they used to use those in foghorns in lighthouses, so it makes a very loud noise as that one. We've got wooden pipes as well. Majority are metal, as you can see, and we've got different sets of pipes. This is one set here, another set here, and if we come through here, we'll show you the rest. So we've come round the corner, and if you come round here, you'll have a good view of how all the pipes are set out. And we've got 3 sets of pipes on this side, and we've got another 3 sets of pipes on that side. Quieter ones are on here. These are the string pipes on this side, and we've got the really loud trumpet on this side here. So we've seen all inside the church downstairs, so I think what we'll do, we'll have an explore of the tower, and we can just go down these steps here and go to the spiral staircase. We'll talk about the bells and a bit about the history and how it all works. Right, so our first stop off the spiral staircase is the ringing room, and this is where the bell ringers actually ring the bells from. And so we've got 2 more floors above us here. But the first thing we're going to need to do is get the ropes down. So we unwind this here, very carefully lower them down. I'm only going to use 1 bell today. I'm going to go with number 7. There we go. Let's pull those up out of the way for now.
What is ringing the bell up?
So, let's come back here. So at the moment the bells are in this position here with the bell hanging down, and what we need to do is to make the sound as loud as possible so that everyone can hear, is gradually ring it from side to side. As we go it gets higher and higher until it goes all the way around, and then when it's upside down you get the best control, so you can make it go fast or slow and speed up and slow down. So that's what we'll attempt to do just now. We're going to make some coils in our left hand here, and then we're going to give it a good old pull. So it's right upside down now. I can put both hands on Sally. You can make it stand upside down, like that.
So standing upside down?
That's right, yeah. On Sunday before the service, and our practice night is on a Thursday, and if anyone would like to come and learn how to ring these bells, they'll be made most welcome. That's 7:30 every Thursday, and afterwards we even sometimes go to the pub, which can't be too bad. And you can ring from the age of 15 right through to the 100 plus, so there's no upper age limit. You don't have to be overly fit or strong. It's not all about strength, it's all about technique, and we can teach you all of that. So in addition to Sunday mornings, we would ring for weddings, sometimes the occasional funeral as well, and important events like Remembrance Sunday and other national days of remembrance as well.
Okay, that's quite a lot.
Quite a lot indeed, yeah. But we do need more people to ring the bell, so please do get in touch and see the website if they want to.
Thank you.
So before we go, we've got to ring the bell back down so that it's the right way up. It makes it safe for everybody else. So here you go.
We're going to continue our virtual tour of St. Peter's today, and we're going to be in the churchyard, and you've joined us for that, Paul, because you do a lot of stuff here in the churchyard.
Yep, grass cutting, etc.
Yep. And the first thing we're going to do this morning is go and chat to Doug about the bees that we have in the churchyard. Cradley honey.
Excellent.
Yeah, you can just head. Welcome, Doug, to our virtual tour of St. Peter's Cradley Churchyard, and you are our local apiarist, our beekeeper.
Yeah.
And I wondered whether you wanted to just tell us something about why you wanted to have hives here in our churchyard.
Well, the main reason is the trees. They're lime trees, and they really produce one of the best honeys you can get in all the country. That's one of the reasons. And the other one, you invited me to keep my bees here, and I've now got 4 hives. So
that's wonderful, and we love the honey. Doug, do you want to tell us a little bit about how all this works?
Right. First of all, we need a smoker, hive tool, and a brush. Obviously the smoke, put it down below, give them a puff, and basically what they're thinking, there's a fire or some problem, so they get busy devouring all the honey as much as they can, ready to buzz off, basically.
So that's the entrance to the hive.
That's the entrance there, yeah. Yep. So if we go down below, they come in here. That's a summer opening. In the winter, it's down to about that size. Obviously,
and you close it.
Oh yes, I close it up. Yeah. The reason is we don't want too much cold in there. Although they keep a constant temperature all the year round, you try to help it a little bit. But basically, you've got your roof, your crown board. That's just to keep them all down below. The next one, which we haven't got no frames at the moment, but this is where they produce all the honey. Now what happens down below is that's the queen excluder. So basically the queen lives down there, and she can't get past there, so basically there's only honey produced up here. Down here she'll produce the eggs, so all the larvae, which will make the young bees. So as I say, all the pollen and that stops down below. As I say, and that's it really. And really what happens is, as the summer goes on, you put one of those on, they produce the honey, within about 3 weeks. You put another one on, and at the moment down on one of the hives I've got 4 of these, so we should get about, well, at least 80 pounds of honey, 80 jars of honey out of that. So
That's on one hive.
That's on one hive, yeah. That's in a good year. I mean, some years it's not so good, obviously, because of the weather.
Yeah.
But I think this year will be quite a reasonable year this year.
Good.
Yeah.
So 80 pounds of honey to sell to the public, and that helps the church funds a little bit as well. Wonderful. Thank you, Doug.
Okay, thank you very much.
Hammersleys gave this piece of land to St Peters in the early 60s, didn't they?
Yeah.
And it never got buried on, so we decided to make it into a memorial orchard so that people could bury ashes and have a fruit tree planted, a low dwarf fruit tree planted in memory of a loved one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's been successful. I think we've had about 7 or 8 trees donated, and folks have got some comfort from that, I think.
That's wonderful. Now, the orchard has proved to be quite an asset, really. And every now and again, I think we need to push it and publicise it so that people know that there's still a lot of space available for folk to have trees planted.
Yeah.
We have 8.5 acres of churchyard here.
Huge, yeah. Huge
And-
area.
Yeah, and people of Cradley have been buried here since it began. It's not just Church of England. And we're trying to develop it into the Cradley Wildlife Garden now, aren't we?
Yep.
So although we wanted to keep it clear so that people can visit the churchyard, we still want to make it wildlife friendly. And we've done quite a bit to work towards that. One of the first things we did was put bat boxes up onto the trees, and we had Alf Dimmitt come and do a bat survey for us, remember?
Yeah. That's right.
And so we have no bats in the church, thankfully, and they use these bat boxes in order to nest and
Yep.
sleep. So, Paul, these walls that are up and down the churchyard are here to mark out each extension. People donated land as we needed more land,
Yep.
and the walls just demark the different parts of the churchyard that were donated at different times.
Yeah, it's been extended 2 or 3 times over the years. I think 1882 was one extension, but so it makes the whole area really large to maintain, but good.
Yeah, and a lot of volunteers are helping with that as well.
Yeah,
Could do with more.
always.
What's interesting about this part of the churchyard is that we have a number of Commonwealth war graves commemorating people whose lives were lost here in the Second World War, and I know that these are visited quite often, aren't they?
Yep. British Legion help with cleaning and keeping them maintained as well throughout the churchyard. So there's quite a number of them in total.
Yeah, I mean, this one died aged 19. It's just heartrending and a good memorial so that we remember.
Yeah.
This is one of my favourite parts of the churchyard. This is the Avenue of Remembrance, and the cross that was donated in memory of the Church of England primary school boys who gave their lives in the war.
In the First World War, yeah.
Do you know how many trees were planted?
Not sure, 20, just over 20 I think.
On the avenue here,
yeah.
and 60 altogether up and down Homer Hill as well.
Yep.
Yeah, and the
Mr.
headmaster.
Jaquist was the headmaster at the time, yeah.
And we've had a number of services around here, and we come here to lay a wreath every year with the primary school children as we remember. You know.
Yeah, and some of the pupils from the other primary schools attend as well, so it's good. It's a good ceremony to attend.
So what we've got here, Paul, is the owl box that we had put up because one of our local community folk noticed that there were owls in the area, and it was nested in. It's a bit sad, really, because the first one round the corner was blown out by the wind, and James had it tested, and they were barn owl eggs.
Right.
So I'm not sure if this one's being used yet, but I think it is.
Yeah. And also, interestingly, you get buzzards that you can see on occasions that feed and swoop around in the churchyard, which is really great to see those.
And there's a badger set over the other place, isn't it? And we
Yeah.
know that it's all very often dug up along the paths as
Yeah,
they're
yeah,
looking
definitely
for.
see the action.
One of the little things that we have in our churchyard is a geocache.
Your interest, this is?
This is my interest, yes. And so I've hidden a geocache here, and regularly through the summer I get emails saying that people have found it and
Yeah.
writing some comments about the churchyard and how peaceful they found it and how glad they came.
Yeah.
And so geocaching has brought another facet of interest.
From far away, fairly.
Some people, from all over the country.
Yeah.
So if they're coming through, they see the caches that are available in the area, and this is one of the ones that's visited.
Stop off, yeah.
Yeah.
Excellent.
So this spot marks the country where I grew up. We're in South Africa in this corner of the churchyard.
Yeah, so you got a connection here from William Harrison, who was killed in the Boer War in 1900 from the Grenadier Guards.
I suppose his body never came back, but they wanted to mark where he came from.
Yeah.
One of the massive advantages of this 8.5 acres of churchyard here in the middle of an industrially developed Cradley, where there was fire brick making work on the other side of the hill, mines all around, metal work all
Stamping
around,
works, yeah, all sorts, yeah.
and you can still hear them down the hill.
Yeah.
And here you have this wood that carries on past the churchyard right over, and when you look from afar, all you see is this massive green space.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
this always strikes me at night, because when you're driving past, there's just lights everywhere, and there's this big black hole over
Yeah.
the churchyard and the forest over there.
It's an oasis really of green, isn't it?
One of the things that we did when we had some trees felled here was we left the big logs down so that we could create bug hotels
Yeah.
for
Yeah.
insect life in the churchyard. I think it would be a brilliant thing for families to come and spend a couple of hours here. A history trail and a nature trail are downloadable on our website to come and discover these owl boxes, bat boxes, bird boxes, and so on.
Yeah, yeah.
And then the history trail
Anybody who's got any interest in local history or relatives, family, etc.
and
yeah.
war history,
Yeah.
would find something there.
Yeah.
And of course there's the wings.
Yes,
Luke.
another photo opportunity there for.
Yeah, angelic. Well, this is one of our pride and joy. Our angel wings made by Luke Perry.
A local craftsman. Yeah.
Yes, there was no public work of art in Cradley, and I thought that let's have the first public work of art in Cradley celebrating the metalwork heritage. Chains and that sort of thing perhaps had negative connotations, and he came up with this concept of angel wings, which I think was
Yeah.
inspired, and people love it here. Always
so a really
coming.
good response. Yeah. Photo opportunity for many people since, I think. So it's been good.
So visiting St. Peters is actually a nice thing to do for a couple of hours. There's just so much you can do.
Yeah.
Photo opportunity with the angel wings.
Yep. Yeah. Geocache, if you've got that interest, you can follow that up.
Genealogical interest with the war graves
Yeah.
and local graves.
Yeah. Yeah. Bat boxes, bird boxes.
The owl box.
The owl box. Yeah.
All sorts of things that one can do here. The memorial orchard. And it's just a place to peacefully be.
Yep.
You can come and
Yeah.
pray in the churchyard. It's wonderful.
Yeah, you could easily spend a couple of hours, and if the weather's nice, you'd enjoy it.
Yeah, so come and visit St. Peters. This map might be a very useful thing in the virtual tour of the churchyard, because it gives the extent of the churchyard. If you're looking for graves, it's very clearly marked where things are, where the church is, and there's also the QR code that can take you to the various trails, a prayer trail, a heritage trail, a nature trail, and a good few hours can be spent here finding bat boxes, owl boxes,
Relatives' graves, all sorts.
geocaches, genealogical research, you name it. We can probably fruitful few hours doing that.
Yeah. Or just sit and relax and enjoy the view.
The peace, yeah. So this is the Cradley War Memorial.
Yeah, both wars, and it's been restored by the members of the British Legion. So
I think all the names are visible now, and there's a lot of names on there.
When we bring the kids down here, I always ask them to look for their surname on the memorial, because it's a real connection when you know that somebody from your family is represented here.
Yep.